They needed the transistor, which that takes a lot of space or something, right? And then they needed that computer, the one with Presper Eckert and the other dude. Those was like quick computers. You know what I mean? Instead of them relay ones. A Presper Allen or Presper Eckert. You know what I mean? That name, you put it in, you Google that name, one or something that'll pop up. And those was the ones that came around, the late 40s or early 50s. Those two guys. Yeah, you got it.
Right. So this AI system is going to be governed by the RFID technology, man. All right. This is where it's all headed. They're centralizing this whole thing, man. They're putting it into one big pot. All right. And they're gonna cook with this thing, man. They're gonna cook with this thing, and it's gonna be what? It's gonna end up being, you gotta take this RFID microchip, or you can't participate in society, because it's going to lead to this whole society of leaning off of the RFID technology. All right, which is the mark of the beast. But he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. That Greek word for mark is charagma.
Right.
And charagma means an incision, a stamp, all right, a branding, a sculpture, all right, and it has the delivery system. You go into that, the root word is parax, which is a pale or a palisade.
I got one of the dudes, John Adam Presper Eckert Jr. Was an American electrical engineer and computer pioneer with John Mauchly. He designed the first general-purpose electronic digital computer, presented the first course in computing topics. They needed this nigga and the other dude for the chip and all that, and the
Right.
in the UPC.
That's right.
They
And that's what they modeled it after. That's what they modeled it after. And hence you got what we got today. Hence we got the RFID technology, which they're going to spearhead the RFID technology to the AI technology system, man. It all makes sense when you go into prophecy. We just broke down the word charagma in the Greek, mark in the Greek, all right? And it goes into an incision, a sculpture, an imprint, and the delivery system. When you go further into that word, is the charax, which is a pale or a palisade. When you look at the delivery system, the RFID micro CHIP, and the delivery system that it uses, it looks exactly like what you would see a pail or a steak look like.
Yeah.
To pierce the skin.
Hey, that's why Apostle Tahar always stresses you to go into the Hebrew and the Greek.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know? That's why guys like Nate and the Honor and all the other Israelite camp leaders, they can't get it, man. You know? Well, besides the fact that they sold out, all right? Besides the fact that they sold out, but they don't do the research, man. They're not diligent and they're not doing diligent they're not doing their due diligence when it comes to looking up the words in the scriptures and breaking down the scriptures, man. All right?
Yeah, that's good. It's telling you the cutting in and all the cutting in and things like that. You ask any doctor or surgeon what a clean cut is. A needle insertion is a clean cut. A rough or edge cut is I cut myself with glass or metal or something. But a clean cut is a needle insertion. It's called a clean cut. Where the scriptures go into the cut with the charagma?
That's right, bro. Is there more than
Read that
that? Read it again.
Yep.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 16.
Yeah.
As he calls us all, both small and great, rich and poor.
So no one is excluded, man. All right? No one is excluded. Causes all, both small and great, rich and poor. All right? No matter what walk of life. These devils, they want you to get that chip, man. They want you to accept that mark. You know?
That's right.
Why? Because they want to keep total control over you, man. It's a way of putting you. It's a way of guaranteeing your loyalty to them and keeping you in captivity, man.
Method to their madness. I know you was about to say that.
I mean, hey, the spirit brought it out, you know.
That's right.
But rich and poor, right?
He calls them all, both small and great,
Right.
rich and poor, free and bond,
Free and bond. Okay. Go ahead.
to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
Right. In their right hand or in their foreheads. Right. You was talking about the brain chip.
Yeah, Neuralink.
Yeah, Neuralink. Yep.
You know, you got that's what the AI system is going to be governed by. It's going to be governed by this technology. All right.
We told that, we showed Baloo that in a video when he kept on talking about the chip. But we showed him Brown University was racing to try to do those implants with the chip. Some years back, like 10 years back or whatever, Brown University. What, you know?
We don't.
Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that hath the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
See, no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the number of his name. You know,
Right.
So
So
you
you can't do transactions.
can't do transactions.
You know?
That's it.
All right. So they got it set up where they want the world on lockdown, man.
That's it.
Any transaction that takes place, they want in. Remember King of New York, the movie? All right.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, that's right. You know, so taxes will be unavoidable, man. All right. You let this devil have his way and microchip the world, man. Okay. All transactions. You want to pay your bills, you gotta have that chip. You want to go food shopping, they want you to have that chip. You want to go hop on a train, they want you to have that chip. All right. You know, for every transaction, they want it to be done with the chip. And gradually, the world is starting to accept that, man. Cashlessness and everything being what? More so digital. You got people paying for merchandise with their phones, all right?
That's it.
Yeah. Now you got you had the card reader where you used to insert the card
Right.
or swipe the card in the reader. Now you can just wave it.
That's it.
You can just tap your card
That's it.
and the transaction could go through. So they're trying to make it to the point gradually where people are getting used to just waving their hand over a reader, over a scanner. All right? You know? And people will be willing to accept that shit, man. Especially once they get rid of the dollar. You know? That's why Trump is issuing tariffs on China and China issuing tariffs back on America. This is basically a global plot to crash to make paper currency become obsolete, man. You know? Drive people to the point where they will have to accept a new form of currency, man. And that reset is what? It's the RFID microchip. You know? No transactions will be made unless you got that chip. Okay?
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 18, Verse 18, here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man.
For it is the number of a man. So the devil is a man. The beast is a man. All right? Now, what man is it talking about in particular? It's talking about the so-called white man. Okay? Hell, even Aleister Crowley knew that. That's why he coined himself the beast of the book of the book of Revelations, man. All right? And this world has basically accepted a philosophy that Aleister Crowley used to teach, man. do as thou wilt. All right? So the beast is a man, and it's the so-called white man, so you can understand. Go ahead.
Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast.
Yep.
For it is the number of a man, and his number is 603 score and 6.
Right, 666. Okay, 603 score and 6. All right? Like Brother Yaza Young was going into the Universal Product Code. All right? What's that? I thought somebody said, oh, Demon said something? Yeah, the Universal Product Code. All right? when everything that has a UPC code on it, the code reads out the 666. All right? That's the numerical value of the so-called white man, which is basically imperfection, man. Okay? That was it on that, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. The scripture, you got a scripture?
No,
So,
the 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 8, it reads,
what's that?
and then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, with all deceivableness and unrighteousness in them that perish, because they have received not the love of the truth.
Right. That's what we're doing out here. Through the Spirit, we're breaking down the strongholds of this so-called white man, and what kind of plans he's up to, and bringing it up to date, all right, or up to par with the scriptures. See, that's what we're doing through the Spirit, exposing this so-called white man for what he is planning to do on a global scale.
Right.
Right? With all these lying wonders, hey man, you got, people that got brain chips in them that was paraplegics, and now they can, they can, control certain things with their mind. All right, they could function.
Yeah, they can walk.
They can walk.
That's how this devil's trying to sell it to you, man.
Exactly.
People that you bring sight to the blind.
Right.
Right? You can make, like you said, make people that's paraplegic able to walk again. The same miracles that Yahweh Shah performed when you're reading the gospel.
Right.
This devil was trying to do that on an artificial level.
Exactly.
All right? So he's doing it by way of what? A human implantable chip. The brain chip, Neuralink. All right? Trying to advance your senses, through artificial intelligence, man.
Yeah.
Make you more cognitive. Okay, that's what this devil is trying to do. Like the movie Limitless. So it's basically spiritual power on the left hand side. That's what this devil is trying to accomplish with this RFID microchip, or with this brain chip, Neuralink. All right.
Because they received not the love of the truth, that they might be saved, and for this cause the Most High shall send them strong delusion, that they shall believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth,
Right.
but had
Right. So if you take that chip, because we sitting here telling you that the RFID microchip is the mark of the beast, then you got some naysayers or those who want to teach the contrary. All right, they say that the chip is something else. Now, if you give heed to those lies and you go out there and get that chip, then you're gonna wind up being condemned. All right, then you're gonna wind up being condemned. I mean, we've been breaking it down for years, man. Almost two decades, pretty much, man. All right, that the RFID microchip is the mark of the beast, spoken about in the book of Revelations, man. Okay, so if you ain't taking heed to it, and you want to go out there and go get that chip, then you're gonna be condemned for it, man.
Don't be thrown in the fire.